Big conspiracy. Norway's centre party corporate CU to take control next month's general election. One of Norway's lead opposition parties has pledged to renegotiate an existing agreement with the European Union and take back control of key policy areas if they win next month's general election. Thousands of Norwegians will go to the polls on September 13 to elect its 169 parliamentary representatives for the Storting in Oslo. However, opposition parties including the Centre Party and Labour are expected to make big gains after almost 8 years out of power. Trygve Slagsvold Vedum, who leads the Centre Party, could form a coalition with other centre-left parties and oust the Conservatives out of power. Ahead of the election, Mr. Vedum pledged to renegotiate parts of the European Economic Area Agreement, EEA, which also includes Iceland if he was elected into government. Justifying the reason, the Norwegian politician stressed there were policy areas such as energy where we have given up too much power. He continued, "We must stand up for Norwegian interests and ensure good conditions for us. All countries negotiate in this way and we must do the same." He also cited the UK's success in achieving the Brexit trade and cooperation agreement, stressing it was only logical to gain experience from Britain. They have recently gone through the process of leaving an international partnership, and then have to renegotiate all trade agreements, on their own 2 feet, he stressed. EU member states live in fear of Brussels but will soon leave the dinosaur organisation, one Brexiteer has claimed. Following the UK's example, other states will soon contemplate their future as part of the failing EU project, Marco Longhi said. Not only do member states live in fear of the organisation but are terrified of leaving the bloc as they would be punished by Brussels, the MP said. Commenting on the current situation, Mr. Longhi told, "I think people live in fear. Furious Brits have lashed out at their Europhile opponents as global Britain's exports continue to soar outside the EU. A new report has revealed that exports are now 20% higher than they were 5 years ago, when the UK voted to free itself from Brussels' clutches." Pro-Brexit think tank revealed the astounding revelation after examining the Office for National Statistics' latest trade figures. They cover the second quarter of the year up to the end of June and reveal how exports to the EU have rebounded by 31.5% compared with the previous quarter. Liz Truss is expected to announce a bumper trade deal with New Zealand within days. The Secretary of State for International Trade and her colleagues are expected to announce that an agreement in principle has been reached within 14 days by the end of August. The landmark deal is expected to slash tariffs on wine imports alongside gin, meaning wine from the Commonwealth nation will likely be cheaper on the supermarket shelves. Priti Patel has been warned by an expert that she faces an unsolvable problem when it comes to tackling a strata of illegal immigrants. Norway elects its legislature on a national level. The parliament, the Storting, or Stortinget by Norwegian grammar, has 169 members elected for a 4-year term, during which it may not be dissolved, by a form of proportional representation in multi-seat constituencies. Norway has a multi-party system, with numerous parties in which no one party often has a chance of gaining power alone, and parties must work with each other to form coalition governments or minority cabinets. In Norway, elections are held every second year, alternating between elections for the parliament and local elections, both of which are held every 4 years. Suffrage is universal from the year a person turns 18 years old, even if the person turns 18 later in the year the election is held. Only Norwegian citizens can vote in the parliamentary elections, but foreigners who have lived in Norway for 3 years continuously can vote in the local elections. Women's suffrage was adopted in 1913.